Hello and welcome to Critical Questions, the antidote to lockdown boredom. I've trawled the internet for the best, worst, most interesting and ridiculous dumb questions I could find. And with any luck, my guests will be able to answer all of them. Today we have got Jen, we've got Badger, we've got Sal, we've got Amanda, and we've got B. Good morning, evening, afternoon, everywhere today. Okay. We have question 138, which looks suspiciously like question 137.
Did you fuck up?
No.
Haven't you noticed that he can't really? I don't know. I never seem to be able to keep track of the numbers. He doesn't repeat the questions, but the numbers are never quite right. So.
No, I agree, man. I actually think he skips a few every now and then.
I haven't skipped. Right. So far, as a fluke, I have managed to not skip any because I've managed to split them all up into individual videos. And has been everyone there.
Well, it shouldn't matter if this one's a repeat of the previous one because the previous one was yesterday.
It was, and it was a different number. It's going to be the only question that's got two numbers. Right.
So,
question 138. Would you rather be immune to STDs or have free KitKats for life?
Oh, we did that one.
yeah, we did do that one. You're quite right.
I was gone.
and I'll answer the same as I did last night.
KitKats, yeah.
Immune to STDs because I'm a chocoholic, and if I had free KitKats for life, I would die of diabetes.
That's a difficult choice.
Yes.
You're a badger. You're not supposed to eat chocolate.
I can eat what I bloody well like. But yeah, I don't do much like meeting people in person, especially not for intimate things, so that's not like a huge benefit to me, but it could be at some point. And also KitKats are not my favorite things. I prefer chocolate oranges.
You prefer chocolate? So you take the if it was free chocolate oranges for life.
Oh yes, absolutely, straight in there.
Sal?
Can you repeat the question? Sorry, I was in the middle of blogging.
Would you rather be immune to STDs or have free KitKats for life?
STDs. Free to STDs.
Did you say free STDs or free?
Yeah, I'd be immune, right?
That's what I thought he said too.
Free of STD.
Yes, completely. Could never catch one.
All right, so I'll go with that. I like my sex.
Yeah. It would certainly get rid of a lot of risk. I wonder if you could include pregnancy as an STD, just for the.
Yeah, but would you really want to be rid of pregnancy forever? I mean, it wouldn't affect me, but
I now, yes, I'd be very happy with that.
Was it ever a problem for you, Dave, that you might get pregnant?
No. I'd have been happier with it a couple of months ago. Right.
We can't get sick. That's good.
It is. Question 139. You meet Death, and he turns out to be quite cool. He offers to return anyone of your choosing. Who would you pick?
Oh, damn.
Anyone at all?
Yes.
Yeah, that's easy for me.
Damn it.
Just one person though.
Just one person.
Oh balls.
You gotta go with whoever popped in your mind first, because that's the most important person to you. And I'm gonna say my mother. That would be that.
Mm.
Probably my dad. How would
Really
they be
can't choose
returned though? In a fully healthy condition.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
So we're not talking
Well, that's
about just a cloud of. We're not just talking about like a cloud of my granddad's ashes following me around.
Yeah, he's not just going to return
Oh,
them.
we're not talking about if they were, really sick for a few years before they died, they're going to come back really sick and then die again straight away.
Yeah.
They'll come back in a healthy state.
Thanks,
Yeah.
death.
I almost asked that, but I was assuming the positive and not the negative.
Yeah, don't ever assume the positive.
Valid point.
Manda?
I don't know. I mean, does it have to be someone personal or?
No. Not at all.
Anyone.
Anyone.
Because I thought right away I thought Freddie Mercury. What Freddie Mercury
I
was.
thought Freddie Mercury when I was thinking about that.
Yeah.
I mean, the problem is, I'd have to. Unfortunately, if this is death and he's basically all-knowing, I'd go Jesus, just to find out whether he existed.
Took my answer.
Fuck it. Just absolutely fuck it. I'm just gonna say Christopher Hitchens and leave it there.
Oh, I'd have Christopher Hitchens.
Oh yeah. I mean, I would pick someone the person.
I'll be right back, everybody. I just need to get something sorted out.
Okay.
The person personal to me, but she died 20 years ago and was a teenager. It would be would she come back like she was a teenager again, or would she be an adult? But I don't know. I'll just go with Freddie. I'll leave it at that. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I'd probably go Freddie or somebody like that if you were saying somebody who wasn't personal to me, as in family. But you kind of go with your family first. And there's things I would like to be able to talk about with my dad that I never got the chance to, because I didn't come out as an atheist until after Dad died. So it would have been nice to actually have that conversation with Dad.
If it helps, if there's any afterlife, he knows.
Yeah, that works for me, Dave.
Sal.
Well, you took my answer, Jesus, so I'm gonna have to go with Genghis Khan.
Oh.
Yes, I would really like to give him a second chance to see what he would accomplish.
He's an interesting person.
Mm-hmm.
He had a lot of sex. That.
Yeah.
It's something like 30.
Well, I like John's answer. Bring
it-
back Stephen Hawking.
No. Genghis Khan with no
what
STD.
fucking Carl Sagan.
Oh,
What did I
yes.
think of that? I'm an idiot. Okay.
Although Doc one's pretty cool, because if given the conditions that we've got Dave to agree to, if you bring back Stephen Hawking, he'd be fully healthy. Imagine the work he could do at a fully healthy Stephen Hawking.
I'm not convinced. Not based on what we know about scientists. You
reckon he'd be a party animal if he was functional?
No, they don't seem to. They seem to have their most productive and when they're younger.
Yeah.
So he might come back healthy, but in the same way as I think Stephen Hawking ended up a bit like Einstein, in that his latter years he struggled with details and wasn't able to have that leap of inspiration that would go in a different direction. I don't know, but it seems to be a pattern.
Yeah, maybe.
Steve Irwin.
Why?
Sammy says Steve Irwin
But why?
to be killed again.
How about the stingray that killed Steve Irwin?
Did the stingray die?
I would assume so. They would have had to have cut it out of him.
Yeah, it would have to have died, right?
I didn't know that. Oh, that makes it sad.
It was not sad because Steve Irwin died. It's sad because the stingray died. Damn, Dave, that's dark.
As much as I like Steve Irwin, and I do appreciate the man, yeah, fucking coming. I'm sorry.
Right. Question 140. What is the worst date you've ever been on?
Damn, this one's well.
That's a long answer, Dave.
Yeah, me too, kind of. But it's a
Didn't we have this one as well?
Alright, sorry about that. Have we changed question? I was spreading mayonnaise on everything.
Do you have someone to clean up?
Is Orla coming over?
Well, Orla just appears from time to time.
What's the
the
I
main
keep telling
angle?
her that it's inadvisable because it's quarantine, but you know, it's deep at the end of the day.
Can she catch it?
The mayonnaise.
No, COVID.
Yes, you can catch the mayonnaise.
What's the worst date you've ever been on?
Uh,
I thought he was going to say something. Manda.
I got a good easy.
Okay, so it wasn't that long ago actually. It was sometime last year. This guy, he was just like, first of all, he was a terrible kisser. He just wouldn't keep his hands off me. I kept telling him to fucking stop. Like he tried to follow me into the bathroom because he thought that I was like, I have to go pee, and he like was like, thought it was a signal or something. Like he just wanted to leave so bad, but he drove. Oh god, it was really fucking bad. Like, and then afterwards, he kept texting me after the date for like a month, telling me that he was, that we were soulmates and he was in love with me and he wanted to take me out again. It was really fucking bad. So that was definitely the worst date I was ever on.
Right. Chris says, my worst date was a Tinder one. She wouldn't shut up for like 2 hours. I got so tired when she went to the toilet, I paid the bill and left. That's quite cold.
oh dear.
B, what was yours? Or was it the one last night?
Even if it was, he couldn't say that. What if they
No,
saw
that
it?
wasn't the worst one. The worst one is, so I learned lessons from this. Number one, if you're going to sit in a place and get there ahead of someone, make sure they can't see you when they come in the door so you can go out the back. Because I saw her, and the picture online was like from 20 years ago, and she was like 70 pounds heavier, and I mean, that's fine. I have nothing against chunky women. It's just not my thing. So she was pretty big, and so I was kind of stuck in this lunch date. She didn't really talk a lot. I was trying to provide all the conversation. We went to the movies after that. Her choice, bad first date thing anyways, and she fell asleep like 5 times.
Did she snore?
And no, not that deep. Just the
deep breathing.
thing over and over again. And I'm trying to like talk to her. Yeah, it was just a big. And then she texted me like 5 minutes after we left the theater and said, "What do you think?" And I said, I called her and I said, "No, thank you." I said, "First of all, the picture you showed me, it was old as hell. You don't look anything. No, that's me. Oh, no, it's not. It's you 20, 30 years ago. Like, so." Yeah, and always, Amanda, always drive.
Yeah, I know. It was stupid. I don't understand how people think they get away with shit like that. Because obviously they're gonna see you when you come, so they're gonna see that you're totally different. Why bother with that?
I think they're hoping that you've got
I
such
don't
low
know.
self-esteem that you won't care.
Ugh, yeah.
Is that what you think? I just put my worst picture up, and then when they meet me, they're like, "Oh, better than I thought." That's what I do.
Yeah.
Go on, Badger,
See,
what's
with
yours?
with me, you get exactly what's on the tin. You're expecting a badger, you get a badger.
Yeah, makes sense.
A 6'2" badger.
Not sure what that means,
Exactly.
but okay.
What's your worst date, Badger?
All right, so here is a badger's guide to not completely fuck it up your dating life. Firstly, don't be socially awkward like I am. And secondly, if you are going on a date with someone, make sure that both parties are aware that this is a date, as opposed to neither party being aware that it's a date. When you both kind of when you meet up with a friend that you're kind of interested in a more romantic way, but and you're not sure if they feel the same way, but you're gonna awkwardly feel your way through it, and you're awkward anyway. Just don't. just do not do that. It's awkward as fuck. It gets you nowhere, and you end up not talking to them again.
And how many times did this happen?
No comment.
Oh, so also the way this date ended was I finally convinced him. I was like, just bring me home. And so we're walking out to the car, and he opened the back seat, and he was like, I just want to sit back there and cuddle with you a little bit. He checked me into the back seat. I was like, what the fuck?
Oh, that's a
bad. Oh, yeah.
That's insane.
It was insane. He was insane. Okay. And I think the reason the whole, that I let him drive was just because, like I said, I live in the South, so all the men in the South here think they need to be like the gentleman, so they have to come to your door and bring you flowers and shit, which I'm not used to and I don't care about. But he was insistent on that, so that's why I did the whole him driving. But you're right, never ever again. No.
Jen.
I don't even go into the restaurant or bar ahead of them anymore. I sit outside the parking lot, wait for them to show up, and I see them. And if they're totally different, I just leave. I don't even play the game anymore.
Oh, that's just cruel.
I'm almost 50. I'm too old for that shit. I'm not doing it.
It's better him be cruel, than.
Was your picture a recent picture?
Yeah, then wait and go through the whole date and have them, I don't know, fall madly in love with you.
Well, that's true, I suppose.
And then end up in my situation, so. Yeah.
Somebody says the L word within like a couple weeks.
Oh,
never mind on the first date. Yeah, that's
right.
No.
And it wasn't like we were even talking. It was like he spammed my messages over and over again, like 40 in an hour, and I was ignoring him, and he was like, but I love you, and we were meant to be together, and we're soulmates. And I was just like, okay.
What? After one date?
But like I said, worst kisser. The weirdest. I don't even know how to describe.
How did you end up kissing him?
He's like fucking like seriously. We were playing pool, and I was like leaning up against the pool table, and he just fucking got right the fuck up in my face and just like shoved his tongue in my mouth.
Oh.
Right.
That's not how you do it.
Steady on there, chap. You've got to build up a bit of a rapport before you go sticking your tongue in someone.
Yes.
The voice
Anywhere. Anywhere.
See, I don't do this sticking tongues in people business until I've known them for much longer than that.
You're not drinking enough.
We don't know.
Oh.
I drink by myself, so this doesn't happen. There's nothing wrong with drinking by
Jen.
Oh, my turn.
Yeah.
I think I've answered something like this before on a stream.
Probably.
My worst one was I had to drive, and I had to pick him up, and then he chose where he decided where we were going, and that ended up being a McDonald's.
How old were you?
I was in my 30s.
Yeah, McDonald's is not a good destination for a date if you're over 12.
Yeah, I agree.
No.
that was you.
And afterwards, he goes, "Let's watch a movie," and we went to a video store. Needless to say, I dropped him home and went home.
I wouldn't have dropped him home.
I was nicer than that. I was way nicer than that.
Sal.
So I had been dating somebody for a while, and we went out to the movies, and I fell asleep on her making out in the movies, and she left me there. She was waiting for me outside, but she left me knocked out. I woke up like to an empty theater, like not realizing where the hell I was.
Oh dear.
Is it Rehypnol?
Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure they did.
Damn.
See, you're the only one where it was you that was the problem.
Oh yeah. Oh, I've always been a problem. I'm number one.
Oh, that's superb. Oh. Well, that might answer this question.
To be fair, falling asleep does happen. Although I've personally never fallen asleep in somebody's live stream.
I don't know what you're talking about.
During sex.
What?
Has anyone ever fallen asleep during sex?
Yes.
In the panel.
Yes.
Sex, no. Streams, yes.
Apparently, it's very
I
disconcerting.
faked it before.
Right?
I faked falling asleep before so it would stop.
Are we counting long distance cyber sex?
No.
In that case, no.
One of my sleeping pills had the effect of kind of switching me off at a certain point, so I just fell asleep.
Yeah. Oddly enough, Dave, I have two because of taking my codeine for my but it wasn't for my migraines. It was actually for my back, and I didn't want to have sex anyway. But you know, it was my hobby at the time. So, and he usually didn't take no for an answer, and I fell asleep, and he got really pissed off.
Apparently, I'm hard to move when I'm on top.
Okay.
And how'd you fall asleep when you're on top? Oh, I don't know.
Are you talking to Jen?
I'm talking to all of you. It's me that fell asleep.
Okay.
Yeah. I wasn't on top.
I would prefer it if you did not fall asleep on me, Dave.
It hasn't happened in a long time. I'm not on those meds.
I think the moral of the story is don't have sex when you're very, very drunk or you've taken drugs.
Then I'd never have sex.
I did have a very lovely lady fall asleep on me once. I did have a very lovely lady fall asleep on me once. It was not during sex though, and we do not have that kind of relationship at all. We were watching Star Trek Voyager.
Okay.
It was a group sort of gathering where we all just gathered to watch Star Trek Voyager in a hotel room. And next thing I know, she's asleep on me. Okay.
That seems normal.
It's not the same thing.
No,
man.
it's completely different.
Normal? How is that like what Dave and I are talking about?
It involves someone falling asleep on you.
Yeah, but people fall asleep on people all the time.
Someone I've done heaps.
Yeah, but you have to understand my emotional connection to Star Trek Voyager can make it, in many instances, better than sex.
Okay.
So it's the Voyager that was the problem
Well,
there.
it is the best of the Star Treks.
No, it's not.
You might want to find some better partners if you're thinking Star Trek Voyager is better than sex. Maybe just the wrong people. Try somebody new.
Yeah.
The wrong badges.
I think we need to crowdfund a
yeah.
uniform for Orla.
Not a fairy one.
No, a Janeway one.
A fairy
Ah,
Fucking
Go to the
nerd.
7
or
of
the
9.
doctor. Role play.
The 7 of 9.
a zombie fairy Janeway.
No, you want 7 of 9, not Janeway.
Are you on 7 and 9?
Yeah.
Okay. Early 7 and 9 or Picard 7 and 9?
Hard.
I don't count.
Yeah.
I don't count the 7 of 9 that appears in Picard as 7 of 9 because she's playing a completely different character.
No, she's not.
She's more human now.
Yeah, but which you would expect.
Yes. It's the evolved 7 of 9.
Yeah. She's been human for another, what? It's 10, 20 years later? You don't think she wouldn't have changed in that time?
Yes.
Resistance is futile.
Right.
Yes, Amanda, I know you think Star Trek sucks, but we think we're fine little shit.
Wait a minute, I forgot there's a live chat. Let's see what's going on.
Nothing. Don't look.
Yeah.
Don't look, or this stream is going to go for hours.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. I can't open it for now because it's not being done directly through StreamYard.
No, you have to go to it. Right. Question. 141. What is your greatest achievement that most people wouldn't consider great?
No fucking idea.
I'm an old man.
I mean, it's you're an old man. You've made it this far.
This far.
I like that answer.
My kids.
Kids work.
My kids. Especially as I shouldn't be having them. Well, no,
But see, is that your achievement or is that genetics?
Well, that's genetics, but genetically speaking, I should not have been fertile.
No.
So, my kids is,
Yeah.
as far as I'm concerned, is my greatest achievement.
I can't come up with a good answer to this. I can't think of anything.
I have an excellent giggle.
You can't say that and not demonstrate.
Oh, I see.
Can you not hurting yourself?
That's not a giggle.
Oh, yes, Joker.
More like a scary cackle.
Yes.
I can cackle if you want.
Just wait. Nerdy says getting up in the morning.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Go on, do a cackle,
Do a
bad guy. I
cackle.
want to hear it.
Mm.
That was scary.
Sorry. I like mine better.
Well, you would. It's yours.
Mine sounds evil.
Bias.
Oh, that is a good answer.
What is?
From Chris. Quitting America and living like a bum in Asia. The achievement is to leave all of my external pressures and expectations
Fair
behind
enough.
and education behind to be free.
Good answer.
The problem is I think other people might consider that an achievement, so it doesn't count.
Yeah, but it's what you perceive as your achievement, not what other people.
Oh,
No, the point of
but-
the question is what other people, something that you consider a great achievement, that other people wouldn't.
Yes, well, I thought I fulfilled that. Other people don't necessarily consider your kids a great achievement.
No,
I
that worked
have
for
a
you.
new-
But you're, but
I have a new waistcoat, and I think it really suits me.
but is that that's the sort of achievement. I go with walking most of the time, I suppose. Right.
I can still get up on my point shoes and dance.
Can you?
This age, I even have like one of my ankles. I broke in a car accident. It's held together with pins, but I can still get up on those point shoes.
You know this is going to lead to a demonstration at some point.
Okay. I will show you someday. But yeah, I can still do that. So that's something, right?
Yeah.
Nobody else gives a shit about.
Oh, I inscribed into my Bokken some words in the dragon language. That was quite an achievement. The Skyrim dragon language.
That's quite cool. I just going along the kids one. I can go that my kid is not more fucked up.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I can get that, Dave.
Get behind you on that.
That's a tough question, Dave. I haven't really achieved shit. I mean, I've driven all the 48 contiguous states in a truck, but a lot of people have done that. So to me, that seems formidable, but it might not to other people.
Well, that's the point of the question.
Yeah.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Most people would think, well, anybody that knows a truck driver would think it's nothing. But
we do that every other week.
You guys ever play the little handheld game when you have to get the little marbles into the holes just by? Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I did that once.
You did that
once.
once. Accidentally, or
Wait,
just
you did
they're
the
hey,
shaking.
those games are hard.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're meant to keep kids
I'm
busy
not
for
sure
hours.
if that can count because that is quite an impressive achievement.
Oh god.
I guess like I mean, I for the most part, I raised my son by myself, and with everything we've both been through, he was very sick when he was little, and then I have the chronic pain and stuff, plus having to, I finished school while he was an infant, and worked and took care of him. I think that's something, I guess.
Yep.
We have got Sammy says he coloured in the lines finally. I'm assuming that was in the last few weeks.
Do you mean within the lines, or you actually coloured the lines?
Within the lines.
Within.
He said within.
No, he didn't.
Nerdy says he lit his farts without burning my anal passage. Without burning his anal passage.
How would he burn your anal passage?
Well, that was the. I tried to change the tense and got it wrong.
I'm happy for both of you.
Chris says
It's a bad day.
drinking an entire 1.75 litre of vodka in one night. I don't actually know how much that is.
How many liters?
Big. It's one of the big bottles.
That's a lot.
It sounds like we are all overachievers.
Yes. all day.
Not even a little.
I can still put my socks on.
I know. Some days I know.
I was gonna say,
exactly how you feel.
I can't always put my socks on.
You see?
I don't think enough of you are glorying in the majesty of my new waistcoat.
That's because we haven't seen it. Right.
Yeah, true.
This is here under my smoking jacket.
It's a golden colour. Right. Question 142. If you could have the world implement any single policy to help stop climate change, what would it be and why?
Boy.
You have to make it about
And Amanda
climate
should
change.
answer first because she's the expert.
I think she's going to struggle most. Because I think she knows she knows the different factors and how
She
little
knows
each
too
one will
much.
make. Yes.
You had to make it about
She knows
climate
too
change,
much.
didn't you? I was
Yes.
going to have them implement returning to the expanded universe of Star Wars and disbanding Disney.
How will that fix climate change?
Fuck Disney.
Yeah,
Fuck Disney.
that's my complaint. You ruined it by making it about climate change. You ruined my answer, Dave.
A policy that encourages people to holiday within their own country to reduce flights.
Would the policy just to ban flights not be better?
Well, don't ban it completely because there are valid reasons for people to travel between countries, but reduce the number of world flights.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the coronavirus just did that.
Release more viruses.
But the question was, stop it.
Help stop
You can't
it.
stop it.
Nope.
The damage is done.
Eh.
The damage can get worse.
You
Yeah.
can lessen it. You can stretch it out. You can't stop it all the way.
Sammy says ban the sale of cabbage and baked beans. ... We all know why.
Can I answer yet?
Yeah, go on.
Alright. So it's kind of a two-parter where you there is a taxation or a penalty for use of fossil fuels or for any kind of carbon footprint in regards to fossil fuels, but also subsidies and validation for use of any kind of alternative energy. So it balances back and forth. So it's good for one, bad for the other.
I was going to go something along those lines. I go 300 or 400% tax on fuel, on any fuel that's out of the ground, and massive subsidies for any carbon that's pulled out of the atmosphere. Make fuel. Any ideas, Sal?
Yes, actually. So, yeah. So I would try to reduce the methane gas reduced by all animals on Earth, and yeah.
Corks.
Corks.
Mandatory bum filters.
Yeah, I was gonna go with butt plug, but cork sounds better.
The problem is a cork will pop
And
if
also,
it builds up too much.
When it comes to, I know they say it's cow flatulence that's the problem. It's not. It's cow burps.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, sorry, Sal.
I mean, because the other thing
Still
too is
methane.
that anyone who's a climate change denier from ever being in politics.
You see, that in its own right might make the biggest difference.
Yeah.
Damn it.
So we should
Hey,
take
what
all
my
the
first answer?
cows.
It took me a while to think of it.
Okay.
Go on, B.
My idea is going to be very unpopular, but some kind of ethical population control.
Ooh.
I have no idea
No.
how that would work.
That
You'd
makes
have
sense.
to be a breeding one like they had in China.
The problem
Probably
you've
not
got.
quite as strict.
Yeah, the problem you've got.
Basically, my view is that humans ruin everything, and there should be considerably less of them. But
That's
I can
'cause you're
see
a
no
badger.
ethical way of making that happen.
Well, I'm amazed as a badger you don't support a human cult, because seeing as how we killed you guys.
It seems.
I don't want my society to make the same mistakes as yours.
Right. Shush. Go on, B.
Oh, I was gonna say take all the cows since they're part of the problem.
Yeah.
Put them all in India. Let them burp till they die, and just let them all die out. Because nobody will kill them there.
Die.
Why
They'll be
India?
safe.
They'll be safe.
Because they'll be safe there. They worship them or whatever, so they can just walk around till they're dead.
You know there's an awful lot of cows.
That's a lot of
What's
How about
that?
we make all the vegans happy? We'll go and mass kill a whole heap of cows, bury them in the ground to fertilize the crops.
I mean, if they're not being
I'm sure they. Go ahead.
eaten or anything, they'd still breed though.
Yeah, but without our help, it's not going to breed as quickly. They'll eventually die off or get to
Yeah.
a low population where it wouldn't affect the climate.
Couldn't you just
'Cause
sterilize
most
them
of
all
what's
first?
going on is
India
because
would-
we.
If you're going to sterilize them, why don't you
artificially
just kill them?
We do that.
Hey,
You
that's
can
not
sterilize.
the same
No,
thing.
don't kill them. That's mean.
Yeah,
They're
but
just
they
innocent
kill
animals. Just
everybody in
They're
India.
really
Snip-
dumb. Is the problem.
snip all the balls off and throw them all in India. It'll be fine.
Wait, why do we sterilize the males?
Balls in India.
It's the easiest way. Just a rubber
Gonna have
band
a
and wait a
huge
couple
pile of
weeks. Pop
snippy
it on there.
balls in India.
Meatballs.
It's just snip balls.
Actually, they'd probably eat
All
them.
right. Here's a question for you though. Do you think
What?
Rocky Mountain
it's
Oyster.
more ethical to kill an animal or surgically prevent an animal from breeding? I'm more of the opinion that it's better to kill the animal.
Mhm.
Generally, I am too. I mean, it's if you've gone down to a very simple way of looking at it, but yes. There's no.
Okay, so therefore no one should have kittens. We should all just buy kittens and get them exterminated.
You do have to,
No.
you have to consider overpopulation and disease.
That's why I said no.
Right.
I'm not a fan of outdoor cats, but I am a
I'd
fan of
rather-
indoor cats. They can be lovely.
Okay,
I'd rather-
Linda has a very good point here. Cows aren't male.
Ah,
Yeah, I was kind of thinking that too. But I mean, most people when they say cows, they think both the cow and the bull.
Yes.
So
Yeah, I meant bovine
yeah, semantics.
excellent.
in general. Right, thank you.
Terminology.
Okay, this next question is going. I think might cause a problem.
Good.
Oh, good. I love problems.
Question 143. Which children's story / TV show do you think is most fundamentally flawed?
Hang on, which what? TV show or children's show?
Children's show / TV show. Children's story / TV show.
Is fundamentally flawed.
Yes.
The Bible?
Would you say that's a children's story?
Well, there's a lot of Christians who think it is.
I read it quite a
There
bit
you
as a
go.
child.
There's a children's story.
Say again?
Which one of us?
Both of you. Not at the same time.
Right. I'm just going to wait for you to start talking so we can talk over each other again.
If you wanted me to be more specific, how about Noah's Ark?
I was thinking that. But that's not necessarily a children's story, though.
Yeah, but when it's done as a children's story, is even worse than the one in the Bible.
I don't know. I have an issue with Dora because where are her parents, and why are they just letting this girl like traverse the globe by herself with this fox?
She's like
who clearly wants to
5.
kill her?
Because her name is the Explorer, and that's
But
what she
she's
does.
a child.
Yeah, but the parents
And
called her
she-
that expecting it.
She is super dead like 30 times over, and you know it. And you know that fox fucking killed her too. So I'm just saying. That's my
Maybe
shower story.
maybe Dora's already dead, and that's why the parents aren't with her. And she's just in the backyard.
Did they bury her
It's
back
more
there?
of a thing, I
They
think.
bury her in the backyard.
Or
No, just the spirit lives back
already dead.
there.
Dora's already dead, but the stories are the parents fantasizing to each other in order to keep the sort of memory alive and cheer each other up.
There you go. Sounds good. We can
So
rewrite
why
the
aren't they
whole
spending
story.
time with her? Why are they thinking of her alone? You think if there was about being a memory of her, they would want to be with her and be sharing those experiences with her, you know?
Too
Well,
But
traumatic.
they can't because she's not there, so she must be somewhere. So they come up with this fantasy of her traveling around and having wonderful, lovely adventures.
What if Dora was never real at all, and she's just purely a fantasy of the parents? They've had a psychotic break, and they fantasize that they've had this child that they never actually had, and they've made this whole fanciful world up for it.
But Amanda's right. Then why aren't the parents on there? It has
Because
nothing to
they're
do with the
imagining
parents.
she's
That's why I
away.
said it's just a spirit living in a
Yeah.
backyard.
Yeah, because if she's away, they can go, well, our daughter's away.
They don't have to deal with it. She's not dead. She doesn't exist. She's just away. She'll be home soon.
Has anybody ever seen her parents?
I can't remember. Amanda's the expert.
Yeah, no, I haven't.
No, I've never. I mean, it's been a while since I've seen it, but no.
Same.
So that's my issue. She's super dead, but
Oh.
you know, because
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
somebody
I
else.
thought out the bears will eat fucking anything.
Somebody
They
else
would eat
go on.
porridge.
Ew. This took a morbid turn here. I mean, I went a little bit around the corner, but you jumped the whole fence. Bears are eating her.
Oh,
I'm gonna have to go with Pinocchio.
why Pinocchio?
oh yes,
It's because he's a
he
fucking
totally
liar.
fucked that puppet.
Liar.
Hmm.
Well, you know why Geppetto made Pinocchio's nose so long.
See, it's all about a pedo and a liar,
Firewood.
and
It's
then
a
it's okay.
firewood.
Exactly.
All right. What was it? What children's story is the most fundamentally broken? Was that the question?
Children's story / TV show.
Star
Oh,
Wars.
was that the question? I missed it.
I thought it was just
Just
what?
playing along.
How can we make Dora the Explorer horrific?
It seemed to turn into that. The Wiggles. Why the Wiggles, Doc?
Oh, fuck the Wiggles.
Wiggles.
Okay.
Oh, I've got an
Can
answer.
anyone
So
tell me-
weird.
Go on.
Can anyone tell me what that kids TV show is with the Oh, it's Davey might know. I think it's only UK one, where they're in kind of like this weird kind of foresty woodland setting, and it's full of little toys that dance around, and there's a little train that goes around and takes them to places and
Magic
stuff.
Roundabout?
It's
Oh,
not
no,
Magic.
no, you're thinking of the Night Garden. Oh my god, that's
No. No, it's less coherent than that. Does anyone know what I'm talking
There is something less coherent than
Tell
the
us
Night
how
Garden.
it can be.
See, I thought you were talking about the Magic Roundabout.
Yeah, I did too.
You know what,
but
I'm
you
just-
said it-
Come back to me. I'm going to look up what it's called.
Okay. Right, my answer is the Smurfs.
Why?
Hey,
Smurfette.
I love the Smurfs. Screw you, Dave.
Smurfette.
The one chick.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Your point being?
She was very popular.
Very.
There actually, in the later Smurf episodes, there's more female Smurfs. But the
There was
Smurfs
always
were
rumors
created
about her.
magically. They weren't. They didn't breed. So Smurf was actually made by Gargamel.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, yeah, but they all hit on her, so they
Oh,
were
yeah, they
horny
did
male
see
Smurfs.
that,
I
so-
mean,
They wanted to
Yeah.
get Smurfy with her. They wanted to show how blue they really were.
and then there's and Papa Smurf who's got her like, under his wing, wink, wink, and she totally is going after the old guy with the money.
Hey B, I reckon you could do a great impression of Brainy Smurf.
Of Brainy.
Brainy
Oh
Smurf.
no. Oh no.
You know what? I can't find the title, so I'm just going to say anything on CBBS because it encourages drug use.
Drug use in who? The kids or the parents?
Anyone who views it, you've got to be on acid for it to make sense.
Because it's made for very young babies. That's how their minds work. Although that might tell you something about how babies' minds work, like you're on drugs.
It's because they're on fucking acid.
Those damn babies are always dropping acid.
Did you know that the Little Mermaid, the castle that her father lived in, the Fish King, is nothing but phallus symbols?
Yeah.
Look at it.
I hadn't
I know you
noticed.
sound like all the
Tower is
Christians.
clearly a gigantic cock. I know.
And that's what they do under the sea.
Did you ever notice? Yeah, right. Anybody ever notice that someone will draw some art for some kind of kid thing, and everybody's okay with it, and then the Christians are like, "Oh, it looks like a penis. Oh, it looks like what? Why are you looking for that?"
Because they are
They're
sex
really
obsessed.
frustrated.
They are so sex obsessed.
You're right.
Oh man.
They're more obsessed with it than we are.
Yes.
The
They're just
Pinocchio
everything.
syndrome.
There's a penis in everything for them.
Yes.
They just need to go get laid.
Yes.
Get loose a little bit.
Very much so.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, although, in actual fact, the problem is that when the priests get laid.
Yeah.
Right.
That traumatizes
right.
everybody.
I mean, if they were doing other priests, then we would give a shit. That would be
Right.
between them, consenting adults.
Yeah, but they'd lose their job. They'd lose their
That
job.
line.
They'd lose their job if they were shagging priests.
Right?
Oh, you can only shag little boys and get away with it. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Right.
It's condoned.
Oh, wait there before I move on. Badger, did you find it?
No, even looking for it was a fucking acid trip. It's something involving, like a, just no. I
That's
can't
why I thought
handle
it
it.
was in the night garden.
I went to visit some little mini badgers in the family a little while ago, and they were all watching this. And no.
Wasn't Fraggle Rock?
I don't know.
Oh, I like Fraggle Rock.
So do I.
See,
Oh,
I
somebody was
remember
really high when they wrote that.
when I was little badger cub, I remember watching shows that were educational, but in a fun way. I was watching this thing about this guy called XP. I think he was like a spaceman who came down and somehow, even though he lived on a spaceship, didn't understand how anything worked. So he would come down and he
deal with drivel like Captain Planet.
he made no. He made like a boat out of concrete, and it was a good show.
Badger, was Whizbit still on when you were young?
I'm not sure. I have to look up what it is. Send me a link in a bit.
Right.
Tell us
Thank you, Mal.
What? Whizbit, you needed to be stoned.
Was there a badger in Danger Mouse?
Was there a
Yeah,
mouse in
I think
Danger
you're right.
Badger?
I think you're right.
Danger Badger.
Don't know. Question 144. If you had to marry a famous ventriloquist dummy, which would you pick and why?
I don't know any ventriloquist dummies.
Yeah, I don't really know any.
Do you not know Chuck Wood?
No.
And Ted? Or...
Jalapeno on a stick.
Jalapeno on a stick. That's a good
those
answer.
things.
I
Yeah.
can only think of one right now.
Does
Which
the jalapeno on a stick vibrate?
Yes.
Ooh, touche.
Well, there
Good
you go.
question.
That works.
I can only think of
Can
one right
it be
now, which is
puppeteer?
Ahmed.
Which one can you
I
think
think
I
of?
mean, it would be a
One
hot,
right
fun time, I'm sure.
Yeah, hot fun.
Might be spicy.
Could it be a puppeteer?
I think I've got a bit of a delay because I keep thinking there's a gap and then trying to speak and then oh no, the gap's gone.
Go on, what's yours, Badger? Which one can you think of? Orville.
I can only think of one, which is Ahmed, the dead terrorist, and I don't think I'd want to marry him.
You see, I'd marry if I had to go down that route, I'd go Peanut.
But he's a puppet. He's not a vent. Well, I guess that's true.
He's a ventriloquist
And,
dummy.
also, though, he might be kind of good at boning.
If
That
you're
is
into furries, you
really
could go with
far
lamb chop.
extensive necrophilia.
He's got a son. He's only half
Yeah.
dead.
Seriously,
Okay,
though, I
think
cannot think of
furries-
any that I'd want to marry because the only one I can think of is a skeleton.
I said I go
You
Peanut.
could always go with lamb chops, Badger.
He doesn't know who lamb
Still a
chops is.
furry.
Look, we went over my dating experiences earlier. I'm certainly not going to marry somebody I haven't met.
It's Emu, a ventriloquist dummy. Rod Hull and Emu. I think he was. Did he talk? No, I don't think he talked. I think he just attacked people.
Oh, the ostrich would be awesome. You'd have good conversations.
I don't know Aussie Ostrich.
No, you don't. See, I can say that, and only Aussies will get that. And they'd have to be decently old Aussies because the show ended fucking years ago.
Well, this is why I was surprised that no one got Orville. But I'm assuming that's too old.
Somebody said it.
No, I said it.
Oh, sorry.
I mean, you've got. Do you know Monk? Monkey.
Oh, I love Monk.
Oh yeah.
I mean, if he wasn't this big,
Oh yeah, I know that one.
if he wasn't this big, he'd be fun. I think.
Could still be fun.
Although then you could pick every guest that Nina Conti's had on the stage.
Surely you'd rather have Nina Conti.
Nina Conti's lovely.
Yes.
Nerdy wants to know if finger bobs count. It would have to be a specific finger bob. I remember making finger bobs. That shows my age. Oh no, I've broken the questions.
I mean, you're talking basically puppets. You could go with Pinocchio, and then I could just hold him by the ears and say, "Lie to me."
No, it could. It can't be a puppet. When I was writing that question, I was very distinct. It has to have a ventriloquist attached to it.
That means you have to marry the ventriloquist. too.
Oh.
Although
Well-
that's okay in the case of Nina Conti.
Yeah, I was about to say if I'm picking I forgot the word dummy. That's it. If I'm picking the dummy based on the ventriloquist, then yeah, I'd go with the monkey one.
That'd
Doc.
be a dead screw.
Nah.
Not the ventriloquist.
No offense to whoever does the voice for Ahmed, but he's not so much my type.
Well, this is what Doc said. Jeff Dunham's puppets, who is Ahmed, Peanut, and Walter,
But that's a puppet.
should be excluded from this question. An actual ventriloquist should be involved.
There you go.
Does Kermit the Frog count?
No.
Oh, bull.
That's a puppet.
A ventriloquist dummy is a puppet. Whether or not it's a ventriloquist dummy is whether or not someone talks for it.
Well, then I would go with
Is
Puppet
a-
Angel.
People do talk for.
No, on stage in the.
They talk, they just don't move their lips.
Yes.
I've seen Kermit the Frog on stage.
They have to be voiced by someone that's
I've seen him on stage
Right.
with Jim Henson.
They have to be voiced by someone on stage that is not moving their lips.
Ventriloquist.
Yes.
Oh, way to ruin the illusion,
That's not a
Jay.
puppeteer.
Exactly.
Right.
You've just destroyed this for all children watching this stream.
Santa Claus isn't real.
No, he
You
is.
If there are children watching this, stream, fuck off.
If there are any children watching this stream, Dave is an arsehole.
But Santa really doesn't exist.
We can see you, and you better stop.
Right.
You see, I thought
Randy
Santa,
is awesome. Yeah,
Yes.
but he's not a ventriloquist
I
dummy.
thought Santa didn't exist, but I realised that I'd just been addressing the envelopes wrong for years because I'm dyslexic, and I only discovered this when Satan showed up with a bicycle.
Excellent. What did he want
Wouldn't
in
it be better
return?
if Satan showed up with a bisexual?
Well, that I made some discoveries with that bicycle because it didn't have a saddle.
Oh,
Okay, someone said something about bisexual. Well, then we're talking about sex. I'm back.
We're on to the next question.
Are we?
Yes.
I can't even remember what the last one was.
If I tell you, we'll start talking about it again.
Okay, don't tell me.
Question 145. If you could know the absolute and total truth to one question, what question would you ask?
I know what question you'd ask.
What?
You'd ask, is Jesus real? Or is there a God? Oh,
Don't all rush to answer.
what is the grand unified theory?
Battenberg.
The actual answer to it.
Battenberg. It has now been answered.
I already know that.
It's a cake?
Go on.
Chocolate cake.
Not Battenberg, that's for sure. Nerdy said, who just farted? Manda?
Dark matter, dark energy.
Sorry, do we have a question? I'm a bit lost.
If you could know the absolute and total truth to one question, what question would you ask?
It's like I said, it's kind of a two-parter, but how dark matter and energy, what it is and how it works. Okay.
I would. Oh, sorry.
Go on.
I would like to know who first thought of mixing flavors. Like who thought of peanut butter and chocolate?
I've seen that. There's a documentary about it. There was a
It's
crash.
Not so much who. It's not so much who, but what led us to start mixing those flavors. Like you know what.
There was a crash between. There was a
What
crash.
led there?
There was a crash between a guy in a car eating a chocolate bar and a peanut butter truck.
No, the guys were
yeah,
walking
you're
down
right.
the street. Don't you remember the commercial? The guys were walking down the street. They ran into each other, and he said, "Hey, you got peanut butter on my chocolate bar." And then racing started.
I prefer
That's how it started the
the
whole thing.
I prefer the Family Guy
I
version.
chose those
Yes.
two, but I'm more interested in like how do we get there? How do we get to those flavors?
I think people get bored. Have you seen the amount of shit people are putting online right now?
About to say that.
I get bored.
You have
That's
a
the
point.
kind of crap I do when I get bored.
You have a point.
You run out of food and you happen to have that spice and you're doing this and then I think it's one of those things. I've read a paper on it that creativity wise we might be going backwards
Yeah.
because we
In
don't
all
get
honesty,
bored.
Dave, I would only start messing around with flavors in that way if I ran out of batteries.
Hey.
Nerdy says, "What should I ask, and what is the answer to that question?" Is that not two questions? That's a good. I mean, it's a good one. But is that
What was the question that we're dealing with right now?
If you could know the absolute and total truth to one question, what question would you ask?
I think I may have just asked it.
I would like to know how light travel.
Okay. Now, I'm gonna posit my question, as follows. Are you all prepared for my question? Just what the fuck is going on?
What the fuck?
Yeah. B.
Didn't B already answer this?
Did she?
Me? Oh.
Although I may find that I don't want to know the answer, but once I know, it'll be too late.
Yes. The answer will be foisted upon you. I'm tempted. Go on.
My answer's kind of deep though.
Go on. Deep's good.
Okay, so my mom died from a car accident, and I would want to know if the vehicle had some serious mechanical issues.
Fair enough.
That's what I would want to know.
See, that can have a nice, definite answer.
No, I would really like to know why I want to know.
Oh, I just want to say, Math Pig, that paper on the dark matter quark is fucking fascinating.
Can we not rename them now?
What?
They can't stay quarks.
Why?
Because that was named when there was 3 of them.
Bit late. I mean, we've got other things like that we name stupidly.
Yeah. Well, Atom is a terrible name.
What's undivisible thing? No, it's not. Undivisible?
Maybe not. All right, question.
Indivisible? Would that be better?
Yes. Question 146. What is your most devastating, unrequited teenage crush?
Oh God. Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp. Did he know about it?
When he was in 21 Jump Street, he was fucking adorable.
Was that what you mean, like a celebrity, or do you mean like?
No, I didn't mean a celebrity. She went
You
that
do
way.
or you don't?
Still unrequited?
It is, but to be unrequited, does it not require that the person knows? Did you tell them?
Right.
No. How the hell would I be able to do that?
Well, it's not hard to get the mail through to a celebrity.
Yeah, you wouldn't be devastated.
You member of the Johnny Depp fan club?
I've got a message back.
Amanda, what were you gonna say?
No, I just you're right. I think someone that you personally know is much more devastating than unrequited love from a celebrity. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't have any love for that when I was in high school, so.
Mine has a story.
Go on.
So, okay, his name was Jason Noah's dad. He was a year older than me, and we were really good friends. But I was, he was probably my crush throughout most of my school. But we never ended up in a relationship. He ended up dating someone that I had been friends with when I was younger, but she ended up being a total bitch to me. And so he's married to her now, but she went out of town, and he was dog sitting for them at her house and invited me over, and we fooled around in her bed, and that was I mean, it's a horrible thing, but I fucking hated her. She did horrible things.
But is this after they were married?
No, this was when we were still in high school. This was long before they were married. No, of course not. But yeah, that was, she was a cunt, and I didn't have a problem with that.
Math Pig, you can't have 7 of 9, it's been decided. Mostly because Badger wants him. Her.
No, I just won the outfit.
Oh.
Well, no, actually, let me put my liking for 7 of 9 this way. 7 of 9, at the time I was watching Voyager, and still now, the outfit was not her main appeal, it was her character. It's just that the outfit is also nice to look at.
It
This
wouldn't
has
be as
nothing to do
nice
with the
without
question.
being on her body, though.
She didn't like it
That's
that
true.
much.
That's true, but I was more interested in her as a character.
Uh-huh. And how old were you?
It's just none of your business.
Uh-huh.
How many tissues did you
No.
use?
I may make a lot of lewd jokes, but I'm not actually that sexually charged most of the time. I tend to find it's often a distraction from things I'm interested in.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so what he's saying is, no, I was really reading the magazine, dear.
Go on, B, what was yours?
Oh, I just don't have one. I mean,
Yeah.
I was in high school in an area where it was not okay to be like anything but white redneck. So I don't know. There was all kinds of girls I had crushes on.
No, all unrequited.
You know, you don't say anything when you could get hung. So
No.
You don't mean hung in a good way, do you?
No.
oh no,
He
no,
means-
I mean like
He doesn't mean well hung. He means
Very well hung.
hung.
That's a shame.
from a tree.
I think I passed,
with a
I
burning
think I
cross
passed
on
well
the
hung
yard.
meat
Right.
company.
Well, how old were you when you came out? You still haven't come out.
Oh me? Oh no, I was 31. That was almost 18 years ago.
Tell the truth, be mindful. Sal,
Oh, I should give an.
go on.
I've been racking my brain. I don't remember having a crush that devastated me. I had crush, real small ones. I never had a problem like moving on or getting attached like that. Yeah, it was something I did, and when it was over, it was over.
I should give an answer, shouldn't I?
Yes.
Pete Tranter's sister.
Oh. Now, we're gonna
I mean,
go with movie stars.
You just wanted
first
to be.
time around it was the first time around it was a little bit underwhelming, but when she showed up again, it was almost catastrophic.
You just want to get your brain sucked.
Through a straw.
Exactly.
So now we're calling it a brain.
Well, that overrides the brain.
Put a head on it.
That reminds me of a joke. You guys know the one about God and Adam in the Garden of Eden?
Nope, go on.
And God said to Adam, he's like
But
showing
I
him
explained
around.
it
He's like,
to
here's the tree, here's a river, you know, he's just giving him a tour. And he said, by the way, I gave you 2 heads, one for all the pleasure your body can handle, and one for intelligent thoughts. And Adam's like, that's great. There's no downside. He said, well, I gave you enough blood to run one at a time. That sucks.
I like that.
Don't you find it creepy that God told Adam to find a mate from all the animals within the garden?
I mean, sheep in Kentucky, I'm just saying, you know? Whatever.
Yes,
I
but
find
I find it creepier that he made nakedness immoral and didn't tell them.
That's a very
Yeah.
good point.
That whole story. So
It is.
Let's not get started. That's like a 6-hour discussion
let's
to
dive in.
break the ice on it.
Break that
Dive
ice.
in.
Shall we move on to the next one?
We
No,
should.
listen.
This is the second to last question.
Last question, Dave?
Second to last.
Okay.
Question 147. How long would you last in a zombie apocalypse?
Did we have this already?
No, we had what would you do?
Oh, how will I last? I don't know.
Probably not long. I
long
think
time.
It depends on the type of zombies.
Go with your traditional slow moving
one.
Yeah.
Probably
Would-
ages. if it's
now-
slow moving.
I need details. So, do you have weapons?
You have whatever weapons you've got.
Or are you just like solo? Oh, if I have weapons, I'm a pretty good shot. I'll probably live a long time.
Yeah,
Just
so if
pop
it's
him in
like,
the head.
Yeah, but do you have something to shoot?
What do you mean?
That's what I'm saying. Though. That was my question. If I have weapons?
Well,
Then
do
like
you?
a weapon I can.
Do you
pick,
have any in
then-
your house?
Oh, in my
I
house
do.
currently? No, I do not.
I got sword.
So maybe not so long then.
I sold my guns before I left Ohio, so no, I don't have any.
See, I think I'd last at least past the first wave because I'm essentially a recluse at the moment. And
Everyone's a recluse at the moment.
yeah, but I was before it was cool. And yeah, I'm essentially quite reclusive by nature, and I have a sword, so I think I'd be fine at least for the first wave.
So pretty much everyone is confident that they're gonna last at least a week.
Oh, easy.
Yeah, really, yeah.
If they're slow
Wait,
moving,
yeah.
if they're the fast moving zombies, I'm fucked.
I don't even need to leave home for like 2 weeks with food supply.
Godless Scummer says, depends how much time I need to spend down the Winchester having a nice cold pint.
I will always help.
Touche.
I think Shaun of the Dead.
Weeks.
I think Shaun of the Dead is my favourite zombie film.
It is
Yeah,
the best one.
Aren't they fast moving ones in that though?
I can't remember.
No, they're
Yeah,
faster, but they're not that fast. They've managed to walk
They're
through
not
them.
lurchers though.
No,
They're sort of
they're not walking
human
dead
thing.
slow, but they're not running.
yeah,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
it would.
I mean, if you got the Walking Dead style, I reckon you could survive for ages. I mean, yeah, I'll just sidestep this zombie and I'll sidestep that zombie.
Yeah, you got the World Z, then we're fucked.
Yeah, I'll just screw that. Do all zombies turn you into zombies?
Not
Depends.
necessarily. If they are the magical voodoo ones, maybe not.
Yeah, but they're not real.
You're not
Well, they're
real.
more likely to be real than the other ones because there's that drink thing you can have that makes you, it
Oh,
makes people think that they're dead and then they get buried and they dig themselves up. So
Which is the more probable zombie? The slow moving one or the fast moving one? How fucked are we?
The
probably,
fast-moving ones may be less social, though.
See, the fast-moving one. Oh, no. Anything
Zombies are
that's
social. Well, I guess so. They attack together.
Okay, I do have several contingencies in place for dealing with zombies, so I could probably last. Let's go with before I am forced to interact with them, probably 3 weeks, and after that, the odds of survival go down, but are probably better than average.
And what if you've got Eye of the Tiger on repeat for those 3 weeks?
I have the tiger on repeat for those 3 weeks. It would probably go down because of the noise would attract them.
That's what would kill me. I talk too much. They'd hear me. I'd be talking to myself or my cat or something. They'd find me.
They find you.
I'm generally quite quiet a lot of the time, but unless I drop something, in which case it's just kind of, the zombie horde is wandering through the woods, and there's no sound, nothing happens. Then they just hear, "Oh fucking nickel, that's gone down the drain now," and suddenly they're like, "Oh, there he is."
I think if there was a zombie apocalypse that would be attracted by sound, I would have to throw my dad out first.
Buzz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Last
What's the worst
question.
about buzzing?
So it all depends on the zombies.
It does. Well, I think it always depends on the zombies, but
Yeah, I guess.
at the end of the day, none of them seem to be able to get through a barricaded door.
Right?
So it's more about how often you go out and try and confront them. I mean, the last time we touched on zombies, you said you'd go out and confront them.
Touching a fucking zombie?
I would definitely go out there and fight my way. But again, considering on what kind of zombie would consider my survival.
Who was it that suggested a flamethrower? Because that was a terrible idea.
I forgot who it was.
You've gone from zombies to zombies that are also on fire.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got a question about zombies, right? They're flesh-eating undead, and they will and if you actually go with the original idea of it, they would actually dig up other corpses and eat them. So why, when there's so many of them walking around, do they even bother with us? Why don't they just fucking eat each other?
Reasons.
Exactly.
Because they want live flesh, not dead flesh.
What they don't, according the myth and legends of them, is that they'll eat dead flesh. So why?
Would a vampire be a danger?
Yes.
Vampires would be worse.
No.
I tend to go with the zombies of the zombie survival guide, because then I've already got a guide for it.
No, I don't think vampires would be worse. I'm not saying that. Would they be in danger of being eaten by zombies?
Oh, that's a good question. Probably.
Well, they're undead,
Yeah, right?
so probably not.
Right, but they do drink blood.
Depends what are zombies attracted to.
Okay. Well,
But if vampires drink blood that's cold and the person's dead, it'll kill them.
right,
They have to have fresh, warm blood.
right,
Yeah,
which,
I already know a vampire.
warm, which technically makes them warm,
Yeah.
which makes them alive.
I already know a vampire, so I think if the vampires were coming, that vampire would be like, "Oh, you lot, fuck off."
Yeah, I tend to follow you with their Badgers. Like if you had zombies and vampires, and the zombies started looking like they were going to take over, I think the vampires might actually want to do something about that because they don't want the herd reduced. They need us to drink.
They would take out the zombies. They'd have to.
They'd have to.
I mean, it's like when we get mad cow disease.
I agree.
We need to kill the cows so we can get cows.
Yeah.
Kill the
Right.
cows. There's your zombie apocalypse
But
solution.
your approach to dealing with tuberculosis is fucking awful. I just want to make that known.
So wait a minute. Are we killing the cows or are we sending them to India?
We're killing them. It's more
Okay.
humane.
There
But
you
we
go.
have to cut their testicles off
India.
first.
Well, those cows have tits.
Flip in India.
Oh, sorry,
are we
the bulls.
putting-
We have to cut the balls
Why
off
are we
the balls.
putting bovine testicles in India?
They like them.
No.
Where are we sending the testicles then?
China.
Well, they-
Oh yeah, they'll eat them.
yeah, they actually. Yeah.
Just send them to any third world country. They're starving. They'll eat them.
I mean, I'd try them. I'd give it a go.
Bull's balls.
Get the frying pan out.
I think somebody does eat bull's balls. Look it up. Somebody might. There's a country or some.
Yeah, I mean, bulls are were a relative delicacy.
Yeah, I think in Spain it's a delicacy. I might
Apparently
be
they're full of
horribly wrong.
protein.
You're making that up.
And they've got their own sauce.
Special.
Self-saucy meat.
Right. The last
Actually,
question.
believe it or
That's
not,
the last question, Dave.
I'm trying to get to it.
Okay,
failing.
let's go. Have we all answered that one?
Yes.
Okay.
No one gave a consistent answer, but yes.
No
Question.
one's given a consistent answer to anything tonight.
They have. There have been some very good answers. Question 148. Would you rather be able to see 10 minutes into your own future or 10 minutes of the future of anyone but yourself?
Ooh.
10 minutes into my own future would be really dull.
10 minutes into the future of somebody else.
Why?
Well, 10 minutes into my own future might mean I see my own death, and that would suck.
But you can change it.
Right.
Can you?
Yes.
10 minutes into my own
Final
future would be.
destination.
10 minutes into my own future, I'd probably be sitting there with my dick in my hands, and I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense.
The problem is, I think 10 minutes into your own future will make you go mad.
Yeah, I wouldn't want that. And seeing 10 minutes into somebody else's future could save your life as well. Like, if you see they're going to kill you or whatever, then yeah, just...
So do you see your own future every 10 minutes?
I think it would be like every time you closed your eyes,
This is a good question, actually. Is it a one-off
See,
effect?
that's what I
or
was
is it...
wondering. Is it a one-time deal, or is this going to reoccur?
It's reoccurring.
So every
Continuous.
10 minutes,
Oh,
it's 10 minutes
God,
into the future.
no.
Yes.
So it's not a one-off event.
No.
It's kind of annoying, isn't
I
it?
wouldn't want to see either one. It would drive me crazy either way.
What would it,
Still
if
not.
it's somebody else, would it be like you had to touch them or something?
I think we'll go with that. Because I think it makes for
I would
an easier.
like to
But
see
if I
somebody
touch someone, I could see 10 minutes into their future.
Yeah.
But what if I see them in bed with me? That would be really awkward.
You wear gloves.
That changes everything. No, see, if you see 10 minutes into the future, every 10 minutes you're seeing 10 minutes into the future. It's kind of torturing. I'd rather watch somebody go through that.
Although it might be easier to deal with bad dates because you can just you meet at the doors of where you're going. Just embrace the person slightly. See, in 10 minutes they'll be shouted at the waiter, and you go, "Oh fuck it."
Well, at least you wouldn't have a shitty day.
But what if in 10 minutes something? See, every 10 minutes you see 10 minutes into the future. That's what I'm.
Yes.
That's what. Yeah, that's.
Not if it's somebody else, though, Sal.
You got to be
If
touching
it's
them.
somebody else, you have to touch them.
Nerdy says, anybody else's future but mine. The funny thing is, I just saw Badger with something in his hands.
Nah.
So no one is going to choose 10 minutes into their own future.
No.
No, I think like for me, I care more about other people than I do myself anyway. So that's why I would choose it.
That's
If I could
because
see
you're
10
lovely,
minutes into
Amanda.
other people's future, then I could be a superhero who stops them getting murdered.
Yes, you could.
See, if I let everybody else look into the future, then I could kind of walk worry-free because everybody's always trying to be really careful not to die. And
Or I could be a supervillain and I could rob them.
I was
because
going
I know
to
they
say, if
won't
you
get
could see
found,
into
then
your own future, though, you could be a superhero or supervillain. You could never be shot.
if you stay home.
But what if somebody shoots me in 5 minutes?
Mm.
Well, it's a constant roll. 5 minutes ago, you would have known about it.
And well, what if I didn't close my eyes 5 minutes ago? Oh,
Okay,
but then I'd see
well,
myself dead, so I'd
If
know
you
that
could
something had happened.
change
Yes.
it, does that stop the clock? And second question, what if you fuck shit up while you're trying to change it within the 10 minutes? How does that affect the next 10 minutes?
Well, this is the problem. This is you're the 10 minutes into the future that you see is the 10 minutes if everything goes as it would have done.
Okay.
It would have been a better question if you'd asked, "What would you want to be able to once a day turn back your life 10 minutes?"
Yeah,
No,
yes,
you
I
already
would.
know.
How many 10 minutes can there be in a day?
Why
No,
not?
no. Once a day, you're allowed to turn back your day by 10 minutes, remembering what had happened in the original.
Yeah, that'd be quite useful.
Yes,
I would go with that. That would be
A
fucking
mini
handy.
groundhog.
mini grand.
Although
mini
for
ground
most days, it would just be a case of, oh, I forgot to drink my cup of tea and now it's cold.
you really kick yourself if you were shot later that day.
I mean, I wouldn't put it past Badger to have a good solid wank and
Use
then
that
rewind
10
himself
minute
10
power
minutes.
Which I hadn't used that 10-minute power to have hot tea again.
What did you say, Jen?
What did I say? I can imagine Badger using his to have the same orgasm twice.
It was a really good one.
I like that, Nerdy. Can you quickly explain how time works so that I can tailor my answer?
How?
Well, we gotta in this fictional universe we're coming up with. Time works differently in different narratives.
Yes.
For
This is the problem.
purposes of this math pig, time is not deterministic.
No. You can change what happens.
So that's what I'm saying. If you could change what happens, right? And how much are you affecting the next 10 minutes? So how much, if nothing's determined, right? No time's determined, and you see something like you're gonna die and you try to change that, how does that determine anything in the next 10-minute prediction?
But it would. I don't understand the question. I couldn't follow it.
All right, so time is not determined here, right?
Yeah.
And you're seeing every 10 minutes into the future every 10 minutes. And if you see something like you're going to die, it's your choice to try to change that. So in the process of changing that within those 10 minutes,
Yeah.
how does that determine the next prediction?
Well, the next
of those-
prediction would be with the affected timeline.
That's why I like mine better.
Yes.
What if I see something that is pretty good that I'm looking forward to, and I get so excited that I fuck up it happening in the process?
Yeah, that's possible.
So how does that affect
The problem
next
is,
10
Jen,
minutes?
with your scenario, you have to rewind the entire universe.
Yeah, but I like that one.
It feels like it would require more energy.
Yeah.
Maybe, but so what?
Be practical. We're trying to be realistic.
Exactly. Think in 10-minute intervals.
10-minute intervals. What happens if the flag time turns out to be 10 minutes?
Anyway, given the new study to do with orbiting black holes, where they've done a study on the state of 3 black holes orbiting each other and how much you can wind the time backwards and have it consistent, they've shown that the universe probably isn't deterministic.
Have they? I'd have to see that.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah, there's too many random fluctuations in the universe for it to actually be possible for that even if you ran the same sequence again, it would be different.
But that just makes the universe totally random.
Right.
It doesn't make it totally random, but it makes it.
Well, that like you take it's the same idea if you take a deck of cards and you you shuffle them up every single time. It's always going to be different, no matter. I mean, obviously not forever and ever, but for as long you could do it for 10 years straight and keep doing it over and over again, and it would still be different every time. You change that one little thing, and it moves onward from there. So
Yeah,
but what they actually
shuffle like I do.
If you wound time backwards from a given point, you would not actually end up back where you originally started.
Mm-hmm.
So the fluctuations within the universe mean that time is not reversible, which means the universe is not deterministic.
But we already knew that time symmetry was broken.
Yeah, time symmetry is broken, which
Okay,
means
so then getting back to the question, right? So if time is
Not
undetermined,
CPT.
what determines 10 minutes? If time
We
is not
do.
determined. Okay, so
There's no such thing as 10 minutes. It's arbitrary. If we were traveling 100,000 miles an hour, 10 minutes would be longer. To the
No,
rest
I
of the
get
universe,
that.
to us it'd be.
I get that. What I'm saying is okay. So back to the question for a second. If we were to be able to determine the next 10 minutes in a random situation that we're faced with, right? And we are the ones that are determining that particular time zone.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have the ability to determine what's going to happen in the next 10 minutes, you decide to change that.
Yeah.
And say you fuck up in the process and die anyway, what sort of determinism does that apply?
Someone else, because I'm lost again.
So it's basically getting back to the deck of cards, right? You have options. Either the cards start going on the table, you try to match colors, shapes, whatever, numbers, and either side can determine what the rules are. But even if you lay the cards on the table and you call out the rules before they're turned over, there's no guarantee that what you're calling out is going to be what you call out, because that's what proves the randomness and the undeterministic.
No. In the scenario we're talking about, it is completely deterministic.
Okay, that was my question.
Sorry, well, we got sidetracked into some physics.
Okay, cool. That's what I'm trying to get into. All right. So then, yeah, my shit, it remains the same.
In theory, nerdy, it's not possible to see into the future.
No, we don't know that. In theory, it is.
We don't know that.
In fact, no. Theoretically, we know it's possible.
We always move forward and we can make predictions. So predicting the future is a possibility.
No.
It's moving backwards. That seems to happen.
Predicting is not the same as seeing.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not going to go. My head is completely
Yeah,
gone somewhere now.
I'm sorry,
No, not you. it's trying to follow Sal. Right,
I started that.
Okay, given that in this scenario, you can see 10 minutes into the future, but the time is our measurement of time is entirely arbitrary. If I were to redefine the word minutes to mean years momentarily, could I see 10 years into the future in this scenario?
No.
Oh, fuck.
Thank you. Right. Jeff says...
Good effort, Badger. Good effort.
Good effort. I could go into a branch of Paddy Power. Is it Paddy Power? Paddy Power, see 10 minutes into the future and bet appropriately. And money would no longer be an issue.
No. But that's the thing. If the state of the universe is completely in a random flux, even if you could see into that future, there's no guarantee that the future you see is actually the future that's going to happen.
The problem you've got...
Still the future you see.
Yeah.
Be the future you see, but it wouldn't necessarily be the future that happens.
You still don't know that the underlying... We know that you can turn around and say that the quantum fluctuations... How do we know that the quantum fluctuations are truly random?
Well, they appear to be.
Do they appear to be, from our perspective?
Experimentally, that seems to show to be.
But only based on the level of information we've got.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, we might they might always appear random to us. That doesn't mean they are random.
And time symmetry may not be broken. We might be something we don't understand about
Yes.
it. But at the moment, all studies appear to show that it is.
No, I'm sure we knew that time symmetry was broken for a while. They rely. We're reliant. Say again?
They tend to show that the universe is not deterministic.
No, because we've still got the combination of them is still unbroken.
No, because to say time is deterministic, it would have to be deterministic in both directions. Which means if you rewound time, you would have to go back to the point where it is.
No, it doesn't necessarily be deterministic.
When you rewind forward, you cannot guarantee that you're winding forwards of time after winding it back would end up in the same position that you were. So therefore, it is not deterministic.
No, because you could still have things again like black holes where information is lost.
That depends on the actual nature of a black hole.
It does. But what I'm saying is, being able to do time reversal does not necessarily mean it is not deterministic. But I want to read that paper.
But if you're viewing someone ahead of time, or you're viewing whatever's going to happen to them or anybody at 10 minutes ahead of time, and they say any actions, any actions can change what happens, then just you viewing it's going to change it anyways.
Right.
Theoretically, yes, but within the context of what we're talking about, no. Apart from the fact I don't think it's possible for you to not act.
Of course, the thing to remember is this is actually Dave's fantasy scenario, and he can make up whatever physics rules he down the line.
Fair enough.
I think you're right, though. I think the fact that knowing... I question at some point. Knowing the future means you... And being able to change it means you almost certainly will.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, anything. Just knowing it and speaking of it, or just knowing it and you having... knowledge of what's going to happen, even if it's nothing that has to do with that. You're gonna do something different
Okay.
because of what you know.
Okay, I completely
You have
forgot the
knowledge.
question. Okay, that's right. The question was your own future or someone else's future.
Oh right. Someone else's.
So we
If
still.
it's
So it's
just a
someone
10-minute thing, someone else's, because then I can superhero that shit.
fair enough. So we're all someone else's.
Whereas my own is dull because it'll just be me wanking.
Yeah,
Over and over.
I'd rather
I might not ever do anything
Take
if I see
myself to
my own future. I know myself too well, and I'd be like, yeah, I probably, yeah. I like interacting.
That would be exhausting though, because I just go around helping people. I know I would.
yeah.
God, I'd be tired.
I'd rather do something than see myself doing it later. So I think other people is a sensible option.
You think
Yeah, but
you could have a spoiler?
No, I like the
something.
randomness of my life. I like not knowing. I like just, I really enjoy it.
Unpredictability. Where do we go here? You finished it. Have you finished
But then
explaining
it could still be useful and applied to me, because if somebody is going to be doing something with me in 10 minutes, I can see whether what they're going to be doing in 10 minutes.
But you've
is
got to
gonna
touch
be
them.
enjoyable. I
You're-
can just slap them. I'll just give him a slap.
How are you going to touch the person that's going to shoot you?
I'll give him a slap.
How are you going to know who it is?
Because I can see 10 minutes in the future.
No,
Dave!
you can only see 10 minutes into their future
You have to touch them.
if you touch them.
Well,
Okay.
if someone's going to shoot me, I might be out somewhere, in which case I can touch someone else and they will see me get shot in 10 minutes.
So you're screwed if the.
Are you there, Dave? You
No, he hasn't. So you're screwed. No, he's not. He's right. You're right. He's completely right.
Dave, the question. What was the beginning of the question again? Just the beginning.
Would you rather be able to see 10 minutes?
So it's up to me with you. It's up to me, right?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So in this scenario, time is deterministic to me with you because it's to me. Is it time deterministic to the other person
No, time is just deterministic.
in all around?
Yes.
All right.
Dave, if in your
Because
scenario,
it would
I'm
matter. It
deterministic.
would matter if time is deterministic to you, right? And whether you're seeing the future or not. If the person not affected is not living in that time zone, how predictable and how accurate is that seeing into the future?
Perfect.
By the way, Dave,
Yeah.
if in your scenario time is deterministic,
Yeah.
it's completely irrelevant being able to see into the future. All you do is get a glimpse into it and you can't change it.
Yes, you can, because you seeing it, it changes it. It is deterministic from the point at which you see
can
it.
determine it.
That's the point.
No.
You've got a loop back.
So-
That's not what deterministic time means, scientifically speaking.
No, you're right. But within the context of what we're talking about, yes, it does.
So
Time
if
is
I
not
was particularly worried that someone was out to shoot me, then I could, whenever I go out somewhere, make sure that I'm with someone so that I can touch them and see myself get shot in 10 minutes and then act against it.
Yes.
See them witness me being shot.
Yes.
Badger, just be
Whereas
honest.
if I'm not expecting to be shot and somebody just shoots me, then I'll be dead and I won't give a shit.
Badger, just be honest. You want a reason to be able to touch everyone.
No, I really don't. It'll be really awkward. This would only be an emergency procedure.
I think
I would make sure that they were aware that this is why I'm touching them.
I think
You
Badger.
employ someone for the purpose.
I think Badger would keep a rat in his pocket.
Yeah, but then the rat would just see the inside of my pocket. 10
Yes, you
minutes
pull
from
it
now.
out every few minutes.
He does that anyway. Oh, sorry, I wasn't talking about
Give
a rat.
me what I do to my rat out of this.
This is great. Lovely. So, okay, never mind. I'm lost.
I'm going to. I think the problem is, I think we've answered the question.
I like Nerdy's comment. I think you should have explained how this fictional universe works prior to asking the question.
Right. We would all want to
You know
see.
what we're like, Dave.
Yes. We're going. Okay. Right.
Next question.
No.
No.
We're done.
We,
We're done.
We should do one more just for the sake of this particular question. It took forever.
It took forever. Wait, let me just quickly scan.
I think we should do one more.
See what we
can.
can.
I think we should have seen at the start of this. We should have looked 10 minutes into the future and realised that this question was going to cause some trouble.
Right.
You did warn us, didn't you?
Right, just wait. We'll steal that from tomorrow. We'll have that one.
Please don't ask the same question twice again.
It depends if the stream dies.
It's 10 minutes into the future.
That whole conversation happening 10 minutes from now because he's going to ask the same question again.
Yeah.
It's been longer than 10 minutes. I could get away with it. Right, question 149. What is your favourite swear word?
Cockwomble.
Fuck.
Cocksucker.
Manda.
Fuck. Just fuck. Every iteration of the word
Yeah.
fuck. So.
Fuck.
It can be used so many different ways. It's a versatile word.
It is
really
a very versatile word.
Every word in the sentence. Fuck the fucking fuckers.
Yeah, it can mean like
Right.
fuck or sad or it can be like fuck, you're angry.
It's very
a sexual act. Yeah, I mean it's
Nerdy says
very
bollocks.
versatile.
Jeff says
my
Oh,
favorite.
I love Godless Scum as one.
wank puffin.
That's up there with Cockwomble.
See, I like descriptive ones. Apart from the fact that fuck is so good.
Oh fuck!
Is
It is kind of my go-to fuck, but it's not my favorite. But it's my go-to.
So what's your favourite?
My favorite is unpopular amongst American audiences.
God.
that didn't stop anybody else.
Yeah.
It
Okay.
starts with a C, and Americans don't like it.
Oh, I've
But
got
if
no
you- if
problem
you
with
want
that.
to know- but if you want to know what my
Is it
what
Clinton?
my favorite,
Just say it.
both Clintons I would describe with that word. Yeah.
You can say cunt if you want.
Yes, it's count. However, my favorite, just general angry exclamation is piss whiffle.
Piss whiffle. What's a piss? Is that when you're pissed off with something, or would you describe someone as a piss whiffle?
Okay. Does anyone know zero punctuation?
Yes.
Right. I first heard this word in a zero punctuation video, and I've come up with various similar exclamations, but the original I think is always the best. And the context of it was something along the lines of, well, you know, it's also beneficial if your game isn't a load of old piss whiffle.
That actually sounds good.
Sounds
So
like
that's
a beverage,
my
though.
favourite.
It's pretty good. Godless Scummer added wank spanner. You see, wank is quite versatile with other words, but it's not a fuck.
I also like shit nipples.
Ugh,
I do enjoy
that
calling
just sounds
people a turd.
horrible.
A turd.
Yeah, you fucking turd.
You see, the problem with that is we've got people with Irish accents, and it's just constant.
I do enjoy calling S.J. Thompson a vacuous waste of bandwidth.
None of that's a swear word, though. Well,
No,
SJ
that's the
maybe.
thing, though. I like intelligent insults though, where you string a good set of words together.
Sometimes stuff like twat waffle and cunt nugget and
Yeah, I
mayo
like them.
McSteak cheese. They just it's poetic.
Yes.
One syllable expletives and 3 syllable expletives are the best.
What's wrong with 2 syllable
Is
expletives?
that like douche canoe?
That's
Yeah,
2.
Duke Canoe is a great one.
That's 2. It doesn't fit his rule.
Rusty toaster?
No, that's 2 words. It's 3 syllables.
Oh, fair enough.
Piss whiffle. You see,
Piss
it's
whiffle.
3 syllables.
Right, Sal.
Like cockwomble and dick biscuit and shit nipples. It's all 3 syllables, and those are the best.
What about butt munching monkey fucker?
I think you've got to fuck the monkey if you've
fucker.
munched
That
its
is
butt.
7 syllables, which I'm not sure. I'm not sure exactly how many, what the pattern once you get beyond 3 is.
It depends on what you're saying. If it's in context, well, not necessarily in context, but it's within the flow of what you're talking about, it can work.
Yeah,
But
'cause
if
for
you
me,
just one-off out insulting, yeah, something like cum dumpster is way better.
Right, the problem is we're not talking about insults.
see, I like using swear words. So the swear word kind of depends on the situation and who I'm using it on and what I'm using it for. Because I do enjoy fucking shit, and I either do it because I really know you really well, or we're in a comical conversation if I call you a cocksucker, but you will hear me say that a lot. You
Yeah.
really gotta know me well to say that. But if I break something, yeah, I'll swear every name in the book.
Like,
I
oddly,
think actually, the 1 and 3 syllable rule applies to most expletives apart from bollocks.
see, I like bollocks mostly because of Americans.
Yeah, and I also have a family-friendly version, which is rollicks, as in the things you put your oars in when you're rowing a boat.
It gets even worse in the Spanish language. It's real bad.
Well, that's why you say frack instead of fuck in some circumstances.
What is
Well,
it? Wait, what's a twat in America?
Huh?
What's a twat in America?
Twat?
Twat.
It's
Twat.
a cunt.
Okay,
It's like saying cunt.
that's
Like
fine.
twat.
It's just, well, Math Pig said it has a different meaning here, and I don't know of a different
Oh, yeah,
meaning than
maybe.
that.
Yeah. What does it mean for you, Math Pig?
Well, no, he does have the twatter.
I don't know. The problem is, I think we've universally agreed that we like poetic things, but fuck wins.
Fuck wins.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, fuck. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
fuck wins.
we can end in agreement.
it's just such a versatile word,
It is.
and it's especially, I think, with a British voice, it just the British intonation allows you to put more emphasis on the right syllables for it to be effective, I think.
John Cleese saying fuck is magic.
Yes.
John, please saying anything is magic. That guy is just.
This is the BBC. Fuck off.
Tell me how you really feel, Dave.
Oh, that was awesome. That was almost Eric and John.
On that fun note, we shall say goodbye. So,
On that fuck note,
Oh,
You got that
Ah,
right, and you
fuck
gotta say we'll say fuck off.
yes.
you know, fuck anyway. It's gonna be so fucked when it goes on.
fuck it away.
It's a question. The fuck?
Mhm.
Yeah. So versatile.
All right, end it, Dave.
Right. So, thank you to
All
Jen.
right, Dave.
Thank you to B.
Thanks,
you to
Dave. Thanks for having us on.
Badger.
Yeah.
Thank you to Amanda. Thank you to Sal. And thank you to everyone for watching. We will see you all tomorrow.
See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Stay home.